Om. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya-madhyamam Asmadacharya-paryantam Vande Guru-paramparam. Shruti-smriti-purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad-pada Shankaram Lokashankaram. Samasta-jana-kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma-vidvaram. Sadgurum Brahma-vidvaram. Om Partaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Graditam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitamritavarshiniim Bhagavati Ashtadashadyayini Ambatvam Anusandadhami Bhagavad Gite Bhavatveshini Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutah Stunvanti Devyaistavaihi Vedai Sangapadakramopaniषदैः Gayanti Yam Samagaः Dhyanavastita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yam Yogino Yasyantam na vidusura suraganaः Devaya tasmai namaha. Devaya tasmai namaha. Hari. So after talking about Jnana Yoga, which is the direct means of liberation, now Bhagavan Sri Krishna begins to talk about Karma Yoga. And we need to understand the role of Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga prepares the mind for Jnana Yoga. In last class, we first saw the glories of Karma Yoga that were stated beautifully. Neha Vikramanashosti Pratyavayo na vidyate Swalpamapyasya dharmasya Trayate Mahato Bhayat. In Karma Yoga, there is no failure at all, no loss of effort. There are no adverse results, nothing like that. And you a little practice of Karma Yoga protects that person from great fear. So the Karma Yogi has a very clear understanding of what sadhanas he has to practice. Vyavasayatmika buddhihi ekeha kurunandana bahushaka hi anantascha buddhayo avyavasayina. Karma Yogi does not have a confusion. Most other people who are not karma yogis. They don't know why they are observing the religious practices. Without proper spiritual education and training, they struggle. Now, those people who do not have the attitude of karma yoga, what happens to them? How their mind goes everywhere. That's all pointed out in the next 3 verses. Yamimam pushpitam vacham pravadanti avipaschitah vedavada ratah partha nanyadastiti vadinah कामात् मानस्वर्गपराः जन्म कर्म फलप्रदां क्रिया विशेष बहुलां भोगैश्वर्य गतिं प्रति भोगैश्वर्य प्रसक्तानां तया अपहृत चेतसां व्यवसायात्मिका बुद्धिः समादौ न विद्यते. So those verses 42, 43 and 44, we saw them together. The unintelligent people, they utter flowery speech. You hear a lot. Those people who are concentrating on the karma kanda portion. You do this, this is what you will get. It's beautiful description of Swarga, this, that, and whatnot. And, we get all attracted to such also. So people spend a lot of time doing that. And they get attached to that. To such an extent, their minds are robbed. Sense of conscience, sense of discrimination, sense of propriety, sense of honesty, sense of justice, all of them go away. They do not have clarity of thinking in the mind. So we need to be very clear about that. So that was described. The positives and the negatives. People who have the right karma yoga attitude, what is their mindset? Those who do not have that, how they suffer. Now continuing, verse 45. Traigunya vishaya vedaha nistraigunyo bhavarjuna nirdvandvo nityasatvastah niryogakshema atmava त्रैगुण्य विषया वेदाः निस्त्रैगुण्यो भवार्जुन निर्द्वन्द्वो नित्यसत्त्वस्थः निर्योगक्षेम आत्मवान्. A very important verse. Who can be a karma yogi? What is the personality of a karma yogi? How does he think? What is the thinking pattern of karma yogi? What is his goal? What does he want to achieve by practicing karma yoga? How does he view? What is the attitude of karma yogi towards these comforts and pleasures? Traigunya vishaya vedaha. Here, traigunya means the materialistic accomplishments, the material goals of life. Such vishayaha, the subject matter, they are there in the Vedas. It is there. It's talked about. So Bhagavan says, hey Arjuna, Vedas do talk about all these material accomplishments, achievements. They're not condemned. Then what should a karma yogi do? Nistraigunyo bhava. Karma yogi, he is talking to you and I over the shoulders of Arjuna. Hey Arjuna, you be a karma yogi. What should you do? Don't be enamored, overwhelmed by such pleasures. that are mentioned in the Vedas. They do talk about it. Don't get fascinated, infatuated with all that. And don't give over importance in your life to such pleasures. That's the point. They do have the role. Yes, we want to have a comfortable life. We don't have to, torture ourselves. Nobody says that. They have the role. In our culture, there is provision for everything. Music, dance, literature, drama, enjoyment. Everything is there. The question is whether that is the primary thing in life or they should be subservient to a higher goal. Yes, artha and kama are approved purusharthas. All of you know the Chaturvida Purushartha. Artha, kama, dharma, and moksha. As human beings, all of us have those four goals. But we have to make sure our entire life cannot be dedicated to totally to the pursuits of artha and kama. So we have to understand dharma and moksha. All four of them are there, and actually dharma and moksha should be the primary pursuits, and the other two should be secondary. We should have a very clear understanding about that. But the majority of the population, if at all you want to talk about the 1%er, the 1%er is the one who has this dharma and moksha as a primary goal. The other 99% only in the other. So that kind of clarity we must. Yes, we need relaxation, we need entertainment, we need recreation, we need artha, we need the security of money, wealth, etc., etc. But keep it in perspective. It's no different from children, for example. Children like to play. They want to watch cartoons and all that. Okay, nothing wrong. And we as parents, we allow them to watch cartoons, to play, etc. But then we also direct them, hey, enough is enough. Now to come inside, or come out, shut that up. Screen time, over. Time to study now. So we have to guide them. Grown-ups are also like that only. But unfortunately, we don't have somebody else directing us. We have to direct ourselves. But that is where the Shastras come in, Gurus come in. But we have to listen to what the Gurus say, what the Shastra, and devote time for such studies. But unfortunately, grown-up people, they're still not grown up when it comes to this. They just concentrate on this material wealth and pleasures, and their entire life revolves around them. So Bhagavan says, Arjuna, don't get caught up like that. Therefore, he says, Nistraigunyo bhava, means Nishkamo bhava. Do not give undue importance to arthakama, fulfillment. When you become desireless with respect to worldly and even pleasures in the hereafter, not only here, and the Vedas Karmakanda talks about you go to Swarga, Pitraloka and all that. So some people say, I will postpone my enjoyment because that is a higher level of enjoyment. So don't do that also. Yes, portions of Vedas are related to rituals which can get you there. But understand, it's not relevant for you. Okay. When you don't want to travel abroad, why should you know how to apply for passport, visa, etc.? I don't have any plans to go anywhere. So, but we get on the website, we want to know. Inquiry minds want to know. A waste of time. Same way, I don't want to go to Swarga because there are higher goals. Then why should I waste my time in the Karma Kanda portion? So we are not interested in Vedic karmas also. They have a role. But those who are interested in that, you pursue that legitimately. That is what Vedas are not trying to dramatically change you. It is there for a purpose, but you, with a higher goal in life, don't waste your time on that. So nirdvandvo bhava, go beyond all the pairs of opposite experience, such as comfort and discomfort, healthy condition and sick condition. Instead, what do people do? The moment something goes wrong, immediately they rush to an astrologer. And the astrologist is there. He's ready for you. He's looking for clientele also. He prescribes parihara. Parihara karmani. Some prashita karma. You do this, you do that. Whether your lot improves or not, the astrologer is happy. So Bhagavan says, if you are going to do parihara, atonement, prayachita for everything, all right, your entire life will be consumed by that. You will have only that all your life. Because Janma Janmantara karmas, countless births we have gone through. We have such a boatload, truckload, whatever load, huge baggage. And you don't know when that papa karma will yield the phala. So if you want to neutralize all that, that is what your entire life will be. So don't waste your time. Instead, learn to strengthen your personality. Accept minor difficulties. Strengthen your mind. Immunize your psychology. Immunize your mind. Learn to transcend those pairs of opposites. So, nistrai gunyo bhava means reduce this kamya karmani, desire prompted actions. Nirdvandvo bhava means reduce your prayaschitta karma. So don't dissipate your entire energy in these desire prompted actions and atonement. So the whole purpose of Karma Yoga is to save our mental energy. So if you have to withstand all these things, you need another important advice. Nitya sattvastaha bhava. May you maintain your sattva guna. Later, we will talk about 14 chapters, sattva, rajas and tamoguna, etc. Most of you are familiar with that already. So sattva guna stands for the power of discrimination, knowledge, etc. So maintain your discrimination. What is that? In life, dharma and moksha are more important than artha and kama. Yes, these are the four pursuits of life. But out of that, you give importance to dharma and moksha. They should be primary. Artha and kama should be contributory. They should help. Artha, money, wealth. With that, you do dharmic actions. Okay? And then, with that wealth, if you have to come to travel, to go to a camp, to listen to some Acharya talk about, spend money for that. Do dhanam. That artha should be used for such purposes, noble actions. So this kind of awareness that dharma and moksha are important, that is what we call nitya anitya vastu viveka, discrimination. Spiritual growth is more important than material growth. So this awareness to spirituality is sattva guna. So may you maintain that. And how can I maintain that? By associating myself all the time with such sources of knowledge. So read those books that focus on the importance of inner growth. Being associated with people who do not possess much and yet they are happy. And those who value spirituality than other things. So satsanga is important. Then niryoga kshema. Another important concern we all have. Yoga and kshema. Again, you are all familiar, most of you are familiar with these two terms. Yoga and kshema. All of us are worried about these basic needs of life for survival. We know that we need certain things for our survival, and acquiring that when we do not have, that will give us security. So all efforts acquiring what we do not have is called yoga. Food, clothing, shelter come to mind immediately. Okay. So all our activities related to what we don't have to get that. Yoga. Once you get them, we want to continue to have them. I get it today, lose it tomorrow. No. What you have, you need to keep. And we have to put forth efforts to ensure that. Okay. Those efforts are called kshema. When you talk to financial advisors, they tell you there is an accumulation phase. And after you have accumulated enough savings for retirement, you need to make sure it lasts. So you have to invest wisely, even in retirement. Same thing. What the financial advisors say, that is said in our scriptures, yoga kshema. Now, just talking about, whether it is, psychologists or financial advisors, everything is there in our scriptures. Okay. So, yes, you have to do all that. Let not your entire life be consumed only in that. Okay. Do what is necessary and then focus your attention to the higher goals. Transcend your worries about your yoga and kshema to be a karma yogi. Bhagavan Shankaracharya has poses this question in Bhajagovindam. Kate kanta, dhanakata chinta, vatula kimta, vanasti niyanta. Why are you always worried about this? Go beyond such yoga and shema. Drop those concerns. Trija gati sajjana sankati reka bhavati bhavarnavatarane nauka. Surrender to the Lord. And He will take you across the ocean of samsara. Even if nobody is around me, the Lord is always with me. Have that kind of faith, Shraddha Bhakti. Don't unnecessarily worry your entire life on this. That's the point. Finally, Atmavan Bhava means be alert in your life. Don't be carried away by circumstances. Do not lead a mechanical life. Just because some are doing certain things mechanically, you do the same things. We've all done that. Nothing wrong. Past is past. Don't have to worry about that. We could have done things differently. That's okay. Getting a college degree, getting a job, getting married, getting children, etc. It's okay. All right. But at least from now on, don't lead a sheepish life. Let your life be deliberate. Be alert, be vigilant. Don't be careless. Do not forget your goal. Never get carried away by any particular worldly pursuits. These are the various attitudes of Karma Yogi. He says that Vedas talk about a lot of activities for fulfilling Artha and Kama, wealth and pleasures. Then he says, just don't be carried away with the pursuit of those two things only. They're not the final goals of life. There is indeed a higher purpose. That is the inner spiritual growth. The peace of mind does not depend on what we have. It depends on who we are. The primary pursuit in life should be dharma and moksha. Dharma means inner growth, inner health, and moksha is the spiritual wisdom. Inner growth leading to spiritual wisdom should be the primary goal. Therefore, transcend the lower goals. Reduce those activities which are meant only for artha and kama. And let there be an increase of sattvic activities. Even when you reduce rajasic activities, you will face so many ups and downs in life. Strengthen your mind to such an extent you can withstand those challenges. So as I said, the whole purpose of Karma Yoga is to save that kind of mental energy. So if you have to withstand all these things, there is another important guideline. Maintain your discrimination. In life, dharma and moksha are more important than artha and kama. Spiritual growth is more important than material growth. This awareness to spirituality is sattva guna. May you maintain that. Another important concern we all have about the basic needs of life for survival. But this, Bhagavan says, takes so much of your energy. Drop such concerns by surrendering to the Lord. Be alert. Be vigilant. Don't be careless. So this is a very powerful verse. Very powerful verse. Full impact we will know more and more as we study. When you live your life intelligently, this verse will make more sense. Continuing, verse 46. Yavanartha udapane sarvatah samplutotake tavan sarveshu vedeshu brahmanasya vijanatah. Together. Yavanartha udapane sarvatah samplutotake tavan sarveshu vedeshu brahmanasya vijanatah. Here Bhagwan talks about the rewards of a karma yogi. So that once Arjuna sees the benefits of karma yoga, he would put forth efforts to attain that goal. He says the reward is moksha, infinite bliss. It's worth putting forth effort in karma yoga. Bhagwan defines moksha in this verse. He says the fulfillment that a person enjoys through spiritual wisdom is all encompassing, a fulfillment. What he sees is that when you seek moksha, you are not losing worldly pleasures because all of them are included in moksha. You won't miss anything. Bhagavan says Karma Kanda talks about various rituals for worldly pleasures. Each pleasure, he says, is a finite pleasure. Now, Jnana Kanda, the final portion of the Vedas, talks about an Ananda, a moksha that gives infinite joy. Within that infinite, everything is included. Everything is included. So it is worth the effort to seek the infinite. An example is given. There's a small pond of water, Udapana, small pond of water. May supply the drinking water for a small group of people. Whereas Sarvata Samplutotaka, a huge reservoir is there. A large freshwater lake, not salt water. That freshwater lake can supply to all the water for the entire city or even the state. Everything that a little pond can supply, that huge lake can, and much more. The water in the huge lake can be used for various other purposes also. It can supply water to industries, provide a playground for water sports, boating, fishing. Even cruise ships can go. So many benefits are there. So whatever you can get from a little pond, they're all included in that lake and much more. The benefits of the pond are all included in the benefits of the lake, but not vice versa. So Udapane Artha, the benefits of the pond from the pond, like using water for drinking and washing clothes or bathing, are limited. Yavanartha, whatever benefits are obtained from a little pond, Sarvata Samplutotake. All of that can be gotten from that lake or a huge reservoir of water. You can have the uses described for the pond and much more. Similarly, Tavan Sarveshu Vedeshu, Tavan Artha, the benefits from the ritualistic portions of Vedas, the Karma Kanda, all the rituals, the benefits from them. Desire prompted. I want to go to heaven, or I want wealth, I want progeny, I want name, fame. The rituals are there. You can do that and get that. But all that can be gained by Vijanataha Brahmanasya in moksha. Vijanataha for the wise man. So moksha is compared to that huge reservoir. The finite worldly achievements are compared to the small little pond. And sometimes you don't know when the pond will go dry in the summer season. But these huge lakes, they don't go dry. So all the benefits from Vedic rituals can be attained through moksha. So the point here is, the idea here is Vijanataha, that person who has known Brahman as his own self. His heart is filled with Paramananda, Brahmananda, Atmananda. And in that Ananda, all other Anandas are included. Taittiriya Upanishad, we studied just recently. Soshnute sarvan kaman saha brahmana vipaschiteti. The one who knows Brahman, in that Ananda, all Anandas are included. Again, in Panchadashi also, Swami Vidyaranya has written 5 chapters on Ananda. And he clearly establishes, we have not come to that 5 chapters. We will. The last 5 we'll study. We'll come to that. And there he clearly establishes that in Brahmananda, all Vishayanandas are included. Those people whose hearts are not filled with Brahmananda, they seek joy from all these objects. They are seeking Vishayananda. For such people, self-knowledge will not do any good. And for them, Vedas provide legitimate ways, proper means to get what they desire. The Karma Kanda Vedas appeal to them. So Bhagwan, what he's saying here is, don't take that route. Okay. And Shankaracharya says, again and again he will say, you are putting so much effort into that, Vishayananda. If you take the same effort and put it here, the returns are going to be humongous. Your time and effort is the same, but the results are vastly different. Eventually, those people with lot of desires, after they had performed different karmas, when they find they do not gain everlasting happiness, then they will start seeking something higher. To them it is said, perform your kartavya karmas as a worship of God, change your karmas to karma yoga. That will prepare you for jnana yoga. So get jnana yogyata, eligibility for knowledge. Then pursue jnana yoga, get self-knowledge, be liberated. So Arjuna, you have to choose moksha if you are intelligent. And for moksha jnana, you first have to prepare your mind through karma yoga. That is the role of karma yoga. So better be a karma yogi. So in so many ways, Bhagavan has spoken about the greatness of karma yoga. But so far he has not said what exactly it is. He's just done the marketing. But he has to deliver the product now. He does that in the next verse. This is one of the most famous verse in Bhagavad Gita. that spells out specifically what Karma Yoga is. Many people know this verse. They may not know other verses from Gita, but this verse they know. Okay, let us read verse 47. Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phalaheturbhuh ma te sangostva karmani. Together. Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phalaheturbhuh ma te sangostva karmani. As I said, this is a very important verse, often quoted. This gives the principle behind Karma Yoga. What is the attitude or what understanding a Karma Yogi should have with regard to actions and its results? Most important things in Karma Yoga are that we act in this world, so karma is important. And whatever karma you do, it will produce a result. Karma pala is also important. And I should have a healthy attitude. I should have proper understanding of both. Because attitude depends on your understanding. Suppose you see a person for the first time and you've not heard about him or read about him. Can you have an attitude about him? Some idea about him? Can you love or hate him? Respect him or criticize him? No, because you don't know anything about him. Because you don't have any understanding of him. But as you start moving with that fella, get to know him, you begin to develop an opinion, form an opinion. And according to that understanding and opinion, you may respect him or don't care for him, whatever. So without a cognitive change, an attitudinal change, it's not possible. In the case of animals, they lead an instinctive life. They are programmed. They do not have a goal and work for that. Human beings alone have the power to learn from experience. So accordingly, they project and have appropriate goals and work towards achieving them. That's all because we have free will. Free will means choice. So Bhagavan gives two important principles here. Arjuna, you first know that te, you, karmani eva adhikaraha. First, you understand that as a human being, you have a free will. You have the ability to act. And you have control over your actions. You have that. And really, that's what you have. This is one of the most important verses I tell you, and it establishes free will on the part of human beings. In life, you can have a goal and work for that. Human beings alone have that ability to set goal and work toward it. Free will means choice. Certainly you have a choice with regard to karmani, towards action, inaction. So you should be a responsible person when it comes to action. Just like they say, you have the right and power to vote. So exercise that right and do it wisely. You have a choice to act. Karmani adhikaraha, but not phaleshu. Kadachana, no. You don't have the power to dictate the results of action. Never. With regard to results of action, you do not have a choice, or you do not have total choice. This is the second point. You should know what is choiceful and what is choiceless. When the situation affords you a choice, you should choose intelligently and act properly. When you are not afforded choices, the intelligent thing to do is to accept the situation. Whatever preparation is needed for gaining the ability to accept that, you should do. So you have a choice to act, but no choice regarding the result on your actions. So use the privilege to act and know how to accept the results that ensue. Don't blindly jump into action. At the same time, be intelligent enough and strong enough to accept the results as and when they come. Here we have to understand an important point. When Bhagwan says that you have no choice with regard to the result, as I said, he means that you do not have a total control over it. You don't have total choice. He doesn't say it is zero. You are one of the contributing factors as to the final outcome. You're only one of the factors that influences the final result. You can till the soil, sow the seeds, fertilize, irrigate the land, and do everything that is needed. Raising a crop or your backyard garden. Doing everything. But the final comes the time for harvest. Till that time, you say, oh, this time it's been good. But then hurricane, cyclone, or floods come and wash away everything. Or your friendly deer comes to your backyard. Somehow you take a precaution against that also doesn't work. What can you do? So you be aware of the fact that with respect to the eventual results of action, it's not totally in your hands. Don't be totally optimistic, nor should you be fatalistic. Okay? Be a realist, pragmatist. So there is this age-old debate between free will and destiny. Man wants to know if he has total free will or if he is subject to destiny only. He wants a black and white answer. If someone says, I do not determine my future at all, he's a fatalistic person. Nothing is in my hands. He throws up his hands. Another person says, I alone determine everything. He's an arrogant person. Fate is right or free will is right? The answer is, you do play a role, but not a total role. So Bhagavan says, just because I say you do not have control over the results, it does not mean your efforts are useless. No. Your efforts do contribute to the result. When you vote, your vote counts. But that party or the person whom you voted may not be the party that wins or comes to power. So you cannot say, I will not vote. No. You vote and pray that your party or the person whom you voted wins. So Bhagavan says, do not stop action. But at the same time, do not expect that you will get whatever result you wanted. Do your actions. This is very important. Be ready for any type of result. This mental preparedness to receive any result is the intelligent attitude. So he says, Phaleshu adhikaraha kadachanama. You cannot determine the result. At the same time, do not think that your actions will be in vain and fail to act. Don't you do that. So you act. Tell yourself mentally, oh Lord, give me the strength to accept the consequences gracefully. So Sri Krishna says, do your action. The results are choiceless, so strengthen your mind. Many factors have an impact on the results. Some factors are known, but uncontrollable. Others are unknown factors. Therefore, I can never predict the results. So the result that I'm going to get is unpredictable. Once you know it is an unpredictable result, do not make your happiness depend on that unpredictable things in life, on that unpredictable result. So Bhagavan gives us this simple lesson. If your happiness is dependent on unpredictable factors, your happiness itself is unpredictable. If happiness is unpredictable, your very life becomes unpredictable. Therefore, let the results be a byproduct for you. What you should focus is the growth, the experience, the enjoyment as the reward of the very performance of action. Let the action itself give you that joy, that happiness. Learn to enjoy the very action itself. Be ready to learn from the experience, and if you enjoy the very action itself, that will happen. Be ready to learn from the experience, and if you enjoy the action and are ready to learn the results, positive or negative, will not have a big role in deciding the happiness of your life. It's like if a person wants to exercise the body and takes to playing tennis, whether or not he wins the tennis match is irrelevant, because the very act of playing tennis gives the benefit of good exercise. Similarly, if I can convert every action into this very reward, I enjoy doing what I'm doing. I enjoy the learning. My action gives mental health and growth. Then the result becomes an incidental byproduct. In every action, enjoy the action, enjoy the experience, enjoy the growth you have. Then the inner growth becomes a success. External material accomplishments or failure become insignificant. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.